we continue through this very complicated day at West Bloomfield High School. It's been complicated for us. I know it's been very complicated for you as well, Eric, as we go through this unprecedented time in our history with COVID-19. Normally we'd be able to do this inside in close proximity and everybody would be comfortable, warm, and happy. Today we have one of those three. We have happy and excited especially. Talk to us a little bit. Let's start with Donovan Edwards. Obviously he's been an absolute star for 4 years here at West Bloomfield High School. National media, local media, of course, right here in West Bloomfield. We've been following him closely all throughout his high school career. Talk a little bit about that, about the impact that Donovan has made, both on the field and off the field, for West Bloomfield High School athletics in his time at WB.
For sure, and when you think of a Donovan Edwards, you obviously see what he does on the playing field. He's absolutely amazing, one of the most dynamic players in the state, if not the most dynamic player in the state. It's the off-the-field stuff, though, that really sticks out about Donovan. Always has a smile on his face, always willing to take the time to talk to little kids when they're at the football games. You know, he'll play catch with them, he'll pose pictures with them. You know, one of the things that we always try to get our student athletes to understand is people look up to you because you're a student athlete, but they also look up for you because you're a good person. And you know, both Max and Donovan epitomize that. They're wonderful people and great representations of Laker Nation.
So as Donovan was going through his process of choosing the school, obviously it was a very close process between him and Coach Ron Bellamy, who's been there and done that, made a similar decision, actually made the same exact decision ultimately that Donovan made, choosing to commit to the University of Michigan. How close was it in terms of the entire West Bloomfield athletics family as he's making this decision, as many of these athletes are making these decisions? How much do they consult with their coaches? Do they consult with the athletic department, teachers, and other people in the network here in West Bloomfield that they trust and whose guidance they seek?
Well, they always have their mentors in the school, and Coach Bellamy definitely fills that need. You know, he's been through the process before. He's somebody that the other coaches can talk to, that is a nice little buffer for these student athletes as they're going through all of this, because he can give them guidance and he can let them know exactly what his experience was and what he sees and all those different things. And what he does is he helps present them with information, make a pros and cons sheet, and then come up with the best choice for them. And, you know, with Donovan right now, it was the University of Michigan, and Max, obviously, University of Kentucky, and talk about just two great schools that they're going to. You know, as an athletic director, it's awesome to be able to put on events like this and to see all the fanfare and everything that's going on. It really draws a lot of attention to what we do here at West Bloomfield, because honestly, we love our programs, we love Laker Nation, we love our brand, and we think that we offer the best opportunities for our students and our athletes as they come through this program. So, you know, I get to play the role of a fan at the time, and it's exciting for me to see all the coaches parade through here as well. But I'm just grateful for everything that they brought to our school.
We're talking with Eric Pierce, the athletic director here at West Bloomfield High School, live on the field at the Swamp for National Signing Day. So we talked about Donovan, we talked about kind of the process that these athletes go through as they're making their decision to go to school. Now let's talk about the other athlete we also honored in this first of three segments here at the high school for National Signing Day, Maxwell Hairston. This is a guy that has grown so much as a football player over the last few years that he's been on varsity. This year we commonly referred to him on our broadcast as the best hands in the land. On both sides of the ball, he was an impact player for West Bloomfield. And off the field, he is such a student of the game. He's so committed to the game of football. Talk to us a little bit about Maxwell Hairston and the growth that you've seen from him over his time at West Bloomfield High School as well.
I tell you, it's been simply amazing. Just as a person, Maxwell's a wonderful person. Just like Donovan, when we talk about personalities, a big personality can definitely command a room, can do all those different things. But if you would have told me 4 years ago Max Hairston is committing for a sport, I would have said, great. What school is he going to for basketball? You know, that's what we kind of thought of with Max as he was coming through the system. And, you know, as he develops as a football player, you started seeing like this elite talent. I mean, really, he's a lockdown corner. He does the right things on offense. He changes the game. He really does. He's a big play. He is just an absolute big play. And I remember it was either the first or second game this year where there was a pass over the middle, and you see Max just leap in the middle and get a hand on it and almost pull it in. I'm like, whoa, that's an elite athlete right there. And you can see why so many schools fell in love with him. Obviously, he takes care of business inside the classroom. And he's a student of the game. And you guys hit the nail on the head there. And gosh, the progression that he's had for football has been really fun to watch. It really has been.
Let's talk also about the culture of West Bloomfield High School athletics. Obviously, there's a great culture that's been built by Coach Bellamy on the football field, but really across the board, there's so many successful sports at West Bloomfield High School, far and beyond just on the football field or on the basketball court. Some of these sports that get a lot of the press and a lot of the coverage. Talk about how the culture here at West Bloomfield, across the board with all of our sports, with all of our athletes, with all of our coaches, has been built across the board as a collective team effort, and then individually, team by team, player by player.
No, it's something that's definitely been developed throughout the years here, and you see the facilities being upgraded here at West Bloomfield with the new weight room. You see the turf football field as well as the track around here. You see the turf baseball and softball field, the auxiliary gym being built. We've made a commitment to athletics, and we've shown that we can develop our sports, not just football. And our middle signing day ceremony today, you have Grace Allred, who's going to Liberty University for volleyball. She's a long lineup. We've had signees for volleyball pretty much yearly, and Coach Lauren does a wonderful job with our volleyball program, and the expectations are high there as well. You've got Logan Lewis, who's going to IUPUI for girls basketball, and she's done a wonderful job, and also been a leader in our girls basketball program with Coach Mosley there, and we're looking for fantastic things from them this year. It's a lot of talent. Very excited for it. We can't wait to get the season going. Hopefully that'll start soon. But you mentioned it with our other sports as well: cross country, baseball, track, soccer. Everywhere we're starting to see people come out here as far as coaches and recognize West Bloomfield as a place that develops athletes. And the other key part of that is we're not just an athletic factory here. They know that they're getting quality people. They're getting students that are making the grade, that are being challenged in the classroom, that are going to come there and fit in seamlessly to their programs because they're teammates. They're part of a program. They're not just individuals. And to us, that's what Laker Nation means, and that's what our brand's all about.
We're with Eric Pierce, the athletic director here at West Bloomfield High School, live National Signing Day at the Swamp. All afternoon, we just had Donovan Edwards sign his national letter of intent and commit to the University of Michigan. Maxwell Hairston also signed his letter of intent. He is committed to the University of Kentucky. At 2:30, we will have Grace Allred, a volleyball player who is committed to Liberty University, as well as Logan Lewis, a basketball player, a women's basketball player who is committed to IUPUI. Later on, 3:30, we'll also have more athletes, as we have Gavin Hardiman and we have Jordan Hoskins from the football team, who we saw a lot of days out here, not with the snow, not with the cold, windy, snowy conditions, but we'll be here for the entirety of that. Civic Center TV, WBTV, the West Bloomfield School District Facebook page, as well as on the radio, 89.3 Lakes FM and lakesfm.com. So we can't talk about the situation we're in here today with National Signing Day and the seasons that we've had in football and other fall sports without talking about COVID-19. It's obviously had an immense impact on athletics in 2020. How have the athletes and their experiences in dealing with the COVID-19 season this fall, particularly the football players and other fall sports, how is that going to help them as they go on to the next level and face those kinds of challenges that are going to be even greater to some extent, and some that will pale in comparison to dealing with COVID-19?
I tell you, it's been challenging in a number of ways, and our student athletes that have participated in this fall have had to deal with stoppages, starters, everything that they've had to deal with. I tell you, one of the expressions that we use is you get better when nobody's watching you. Athletes do that, and they've been forced to do that this year. There's been a lot of times where they weren't able to practice, where they didn't have the ability to come to West Bloomfield and participate with their teammates, where they still had to find a way to get better. And our student athletes, to give them credit, did that. They obviously they were upset with how things were going and not being able to play, but when they came back, they worked hard and they did the right things. And man, football, if you would have told us before the season started that we were going to get 9 games in, we would have jumped at that opportunity. To be able to get through the volleyball season, to almost be able to finish swim, soccer, to have that season done. Those are opportunities, once again, for our students to showcase their talents. And I'm so grateful that they had a chance to do that. But the ability to handle adversity is what's coming out of this. And our student athletes have done a wonderful job. And to their credit, all the different protocols that we had, they followed because they knew that they wanted their season. They knew that they had to do these things in order to make their season go. And they did a lot of peer mentoring, we'll call it, where they saw other people not following the protocols, and they're like, hey, you got to do this. We're not going to be the reason why our season doesn't go. And it was great to see. They stepped up to the plate and they did a wonderful job, just like they always do.
Last question, going back to the football, so we had 2 football players just commit and sign their national letter of intent. One, of course, Maxwell Hairston to Kentucky, and then the headliner of the day, the one with the national press, the local press certainly, Donovan Edwards officially committing and signing his national letter of intent to the University of Michigan. Of course, you saw that large media scrum over there as well. A lot of focus on our 2 wonderful football players in this first segment of 3 today from National Signing Day at West Bloomfield High School. And Eric, before I let you go, you got a lot of other things to take care of. It's a nice, cool day out here. If West Bloomfield were playing football right now, wrapping up their season, they had of course, the state semifinal and then the state final ahead of them. Had the football season not been put under this pause that we're currently under, that's been extended to December 20th at a bare minimum, would West Bloomfield High School have been our state champions?
I tell you what, we were playing, and nobody can really argue this. We were playing as well as anybody out there, and to see the way that we came out and we were dominating in the playoffs, it was a true team effort. Everybody was firing on all cylinders, offensively, defensively. The games that we played, they were a pleasure to watch, and our guys came out and they took care of business right away. And when you see that, you look for formulas for state championships. Every now and then you have to have a little luck, but you have to have teams that are playing for each other. And our guys were selfless. Our guys were out there and they were truly playing for each other, the guys they were lining up with. So I really believe that this was going to be obviously a great opportunity for our guys to show that we are the best team in the state.
And then preparing, of course, we're in winter now. Clearly it's winter. If you didn't believe it was winter before this day, you do now. I know Eric's freezing, I'm freezing, but we're having a great time. It's a warm environment at the very least. Looking forward to the winter season, to the spring season as we continue through this COVID-19 pandemic. A vaccine's out there. There's some semblance of hope, but it's still going to be a different winter and spring season. Across the board, the coaching staffs and the parents and the families, how has it been a team effort to prepare these students for an unprecedented sports season, whether they play one sport in one season or play sport every season, whether they're the top level athlete that's going to play at the next level or this is the highest level that they will play?
Flexibility rules the day, and our athletic departments had to be extremely flexible. Our coaches have had to be extremely flexible, and our student athletes have had to be extremely flexible. And I as an athletic director, it's amazing when your family comes together and you can do amazing things. And that's what we view our athletic programs here at West Bloomfield, as a big family. And we lean on each other a lot, but you know what, we get the job done. And I truly believe that our coaches are doing what's best for the student athlete. They're looking out for them, and I can't wait to see what the next season holds for us.
Well, Eric, we thank you very much for joining us for this interview. We'll have many more interviews as the day goes on. We've got Grace Allred and Logan Lewis coming up in just a little bit. They'll sign their national letters of intent. We'd love to speak with them before and after. One maybe before, one maybe after their next segment. We'll continue our live coverage. We thank you very much for joining us.